So here's the problem, and I've seen it a bunch of times over the past 40 years of being a landscape contractor. You do a nice patio landscape and you build a fire pit because you're going to have all your fires outside and have your friends, and what happens is after a few years your fire pit kind of gives up a little bit because too much heat, and you get a situation kind of like you see here, which is my fire pit with the top all broken out because the heat blew up the rocks or destroyed the mortar. So what you're going to see in the video coming up is a solution that we've used for another client's house, and something we'll probably have to do a few more times because another video is going to be me replacing this one. So I hope you enjoy it. I'm making a form for a fire ring. Here's some of the stuff we're going to be using. Okay, so that's the form for the outside circle. And then we're going to put it on top of here so we get our texture with the stamping pad that we built a little support for the handles. And then this circle on the ground here is going to be the inner circle. We're going to make the same thing there that we made over here. And then that way, we should wind up with a donut looking thing with steel in it, made out of concrete. That has a texture and a color. In that video because you said that. All right, that's Matt. He helped out with building the stuff like he normally does. I do all the talking, he does all the work. That's our arrangement. So this is our reinforcing wire that's gonna go in the concrete once we get to that point. We got the wood burner cooking because we need some heat in here because this caulk that we're using as our fake mortar joints needs to dry, and it's not drying because it's damp and cold in here, but we didn't want to cook ourselves out, so we're just putting the heat on now. So when that gets a little tacky, maybe we'll form them up into better looking mortar joints, but for now they're just too smushy, so we're not going to do anything. And that's pretty much it. Next part we'll do is mix up some cement, put some color in it. You can see I've got my form down below for our slate texture. So when it's all done, it should look like little pieces of slate that look like pavers around the top of this fire pit. We'll see. A lot of work goes into this nonsense. Custom. Got everything going now. I don't know how much I have audio on either one of my cameras, so I'm doing two. We've got concrete going down here. I don't know if you can see that. Yeah. It's a mixture of two different things. You can see those bags. One's a regular concrete mix, one's like a top coat that's reinforced with fiber. Trying to get a gray color at the same time as a little bit of structure. That's sitting up there now. So I'm gonna spray some release. At least I think I'm gonna. In this. And what this stuff does, it's called bubblegum release, and if you get smelling in here, it's gonna smell like bubblegum in a second. And this stuff will keep the concrete from really sticking to the form. It's like, back in the day they used to use diesel fuel, but it's not super environmentally friendly to use diesel fuel. So this is what they came up with. That's better, theoretically. We'll see. But you want to get it everywhere. You don't need much. And then we'll take that and we're going to take some of these colors. There's like a brownish, there's a grayish. We're going to sprinkle a little bit in here, like kind of randomly. And that's going to get picked up by the concrete as it kind of dries. And like I said, I'll make it look like one or more of the pavers are a little different than the rest. It's kind of a cool thing. Try to get some on the fronts. It's kind of a messy job, but messy is fun. Little Emerald Gossi, whatever it is, isn't that his name? I get names wrong now that I'm getting old. Turned into my grandmother. But remember with the BAM? Do a little bit of BAM action here, BAM. See how that works? And if you do a couple different colors, usually it looks pretty cool. So we'll see. That's another darker gray. I think I want to put like a almost greenish in it. Like there might be some like fungus or moss or something growing on it, you know what I mean? There you go. Yeah, two different color gray. Make each one of the pavers look a little different. Yeah, that's it. Don't get carried away. It'll get silly looking if you get too much stuff in there. We're not going for silly, we're going for good, right? Alright, so I got my water here. I got my favorite trowel. I'm gonna start troweling this stuff up in here. Let's see how she goes. If it's not good now, it's not gonna be. I was saying before about mixing concrete, I might have to mix some more, but this should be enough to get me going to get to the point where I can put the reinforcing wire in. So, I could get a shovel, but I want a little bit more control. So I'm just going to use this, even though it's not going to be the fastest or the neatest. It will be more control, because I'm a control freak. That's what I like. Put my tools away. Oh, pencils. Oh, good Lord. All manner of nonsense. I'm going to just jazz it around a little bit here, but I'm not going to get nuts because I put this on a table for a reason. And the reason it's on the table is once I get this in, I can vibrate the table a little bit in a very rudimentary manner. There's table vibrators you can actually buy. Don't get weird with that subject. But if you're going to do a lot of concrete cabinet work, you can get these little things attached to the legs of the table, and those vibrate the thing around, make the concrete really hard. Again, don't get weird with that subject either. But yeah, we're going to use like the low-tech version of those things, and just do it the mom and pop kind of way, as it were. Very messy. But I think it's what I want. I think those seams seem to be holding up really nicely. The ones are going to look like mortar joints when it's done. They got hard enough in here, keeping the wood burner on overnight, which is great. I wasn't sure that was going to happen, but we got lucky. The weather's been pretty warm. It's like 60-some degrees today. So it wasn't too hard to keep the shop warm overnight. So here we are. Making a big mess. What could be better? A man messing around in the mud on a Saturday. A little bit of tunage. Bob Dylan pencil in his hand. Not sure really why I'm holding it, just kind of like Bob Dole. Really didn't have a clue, just did it. I guess to not look like he had other issues. But yeah, just kind of getting this stuff laid in here about halfway in. Then we're going to add our steel. And then we're going to mix up another half of mix. See if we can top it off with that. See how that all goes. Just make it up as you go, you know. But the consistency of this stuff is nice. I like the way it's like sitting up, kind of meringue, but not hard and not with a bunch of water shooting out the bottom. It's good. It's the right consistency. Where you go, Dave? A little music on in the background. Normally, if I wasn't trying to record more stuff, it might be a bit louder. You can't do good concrete if you're not listening to music. That's just a rule. It's not my rule. It's just a rule of the universe. So, you can fight it. Get into it and listen to music. I'm going to just listen to music. Alright. Gotta get your pan pretty clean because this is going to be hard-ish by the time I get done and get back to it. So you don't want all those bits turn into something nasty. I want to keep these tops clean for the shortly. That's good for now. I'm going to get rid of my Bob Dole pencil. Alright, here's my reinforcing wire that I pre-made, which should fit in here quite nicely. We don't want it up on the edge. We don't want to touch it anywhere. It can be close, but we don't want it on the edge. We want a little bit of concrete between the edge and... Yes, that is it. All right. Sorry if that was loud, peeps. So we're gonna mix up another bit, and then we'll see how that goes. Perfect because, you know, whatever, of course it's perfect. All right, let's put some more on top, shall we? We shall. So damn beautiful, I don't even know what to say. I'm overwhelmed with emotion. Do what you gotta do. Don't lie about it. It's just the way things are shaping up. Sorry about my butt, by the way. I'm cautiously optimistic. Cautiously optimistic, I'd say. All right, so for the record, let's recap. The amount of cement I made and how I made it was perfect. And so people wonder why I'm full of myself, but it's gonna be more flat in a minute because we're gonna take what is known in the business as Baby Thor, and we're gonna tap this thing, jiggle it all around. This is why I get it on a table. We're gonna get it to real settle out. Get your bubbles out. Get it so it's legit. You also will find out if it's not a level table, which it might not be. We're in my shop and it's dubious, let's say. That should be enough. I believe that should do it. That's plenty of jiggle, as they say. Like the young people say. So I'm going to finish it off a little bit with this. It's a mag float. Magnesium makes the water come up. You can make it go smooth, and you know, it's what all the big boys do. That's why. That's better. All right, I think that's it. I think we got it now. All right, that is it. So all I'm gonna do now is turn on the fan and get the fireplace cranking over here. And we're gonna let this thing heat up overnight. Come back tomorrow, see how it looks. Maybe take the form off on Monday. But yeah, it's good to go for now. See how it goes.